Weather Scope.
Here's a spectacular look at one of the funnel clouds and tornadoes that swept Texas last night. A deadly situation that could be repeated across parts of the South today. Welcome to Weather Scope. I'm Rick Griffin. It is a very rough morning in the South with severe thunderstorms, hail, wind damage, at least one tornado reported in Brevard County, Florida. Also, moisture from the system is heading north, and we'll have a live report on what's ahead for you folks in New York City in just a moment. But we start with the severe weather picture. Right now we go to Vivian Brown in the Forecast Center. Hello, Vivian.
Good morning, Rick, and it has been a very active morning so far here at the Weather Channel with all the severe weather over the southeast. Now, the Storms Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma has issued several weather watches this morning. A severe thunderstorm watch remains in effect for northern Georgia. This does include the Atlanta metro area, the western parts of South Carolina, which includes Greenville and Spartanburg. A tornado watch, or a piece of it anyway, is still in effect across central Florida. Here's a look at our latest satellite and radar, which shows, you can see the thunderstorms still invading the central peninsula of Florida around Lake Okeechobee. A special marine warning has been issued. We are starting to dry out right in here, though, and that is good news because we've had reports of dramatic flooding in the northeastern parts of Florida around Jacksonville, but a little drier in the region this morning. Still some heavy rain, the outer banks of North Carolina and the coastal areas of Virginia pushing into our nation's capital and even around Baltimore. And more thunderstorms back here across the Tennessee River Valley and the Cumberland Plateau. We have an area of low pressure moving through this region. I'll tell you what, we'll talk about this area of low pressure in just a moment, but first let's zoom in the coastal areas here. Very heavy rain around Richmond and Norfolk as you travel Highway 17. Be careful along the immediate coast. Drier from Myrtle Beach down to Charleston, and even along the northern coastline of Florida, it looks a little better this morning, but still very intense. Thunderstorms around Vero Beach and crossing right over Lake Okeechobee. These storms are moving off toward the east, northeast at about 40 to 50 miles an hour. You can see the individual thunderstorm cells, but the line of thunderstorms actually moving off toward the south as they will try and struggle to push across the southern peninsula as the morning unfolds. Here's a look at our latest lightning data, and still very vivid, deadly, dangerous lightning across the central peninsula of Florida. And we have another batch of very intense, vivid lightning over northern Georgia, working their way across the western parts of South Carolina now. Severe thunderstorms have been a problem as we still have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Newton County, Rockdale, and Walton counties in northeastern Georgia. We've had reports of hail, too, with some of these storms. Pea and dime size hail has been reported. You can see as the thunderstorms moved right through the Atlanta metro area, it looks as though the line is lessening in intensity this morning, and that is good news, but still some very heavy rain as you travel Interstate 65 northward out of Alabama into Tennessee. We've had reports of flooding across the Nashville area. Closer inspection of central and northern Georgia. Again, the line of storms seems to be weakening somewhat as it pushes across the central parts of Georgia, downtown Atlanta. Still looking at this area, though, you're threatened for severe weather the rest of the morning hours into the early afternoon hours. We are watching this area of low pressure now as it slides across the mid-Mississippi Valley. High pressure over the northeast, and with that in mind, we have just the persistent moisture coming in from the Atlantic. Winds will be hitting up against the coast, and gale storm advisories have been issued from the coast of Georgia all the way to the Long Island Sound. As a matter of fact, we have our very own Jim Cantore. He's at Long Beach, New York, ahead of the storm to keep us abreast of the situation. What's going on right now, Jim?
Well, Vivian, we continue to look off to the south, which is exactly the way you're looking from the camera view, and it's definitely much, much darker down there, which means the moisture is definitely coming this way. Tide's also coming in. The winds are picking up a little bit, too. They're generally out of the east, occasionally shifting around from the northeast, so we've still got that cold air drainage. But the winds aren't so bad that we just can't stand it out here. The temperatures are right around 40 degrees, and the wind chill's probably down around 25, so we've definitely seen worse. But no doubt this high pressure, Vivian, has held off the moisture a little bit longer than anticipated. As a matter of fact, if you look at the map, folks, you can see that it's already up through west central New York, and it's just kind of missing the city and really all the way down through New Jersey as well as a result of this high holding it off. It's off to the west that we have most of our moisture. But tonight things change. Rain, wind moving in. It's going to be a lot different as we get beyond rush hour tonight and on into the late evening hours and even tomorrow morning as the rain and wind finally does make it. And upstate, we're talking about snow, especially into New England, where the winter storm watches have already been posted. We'll keep you posted here from the South Shore of Long Island. Right now, so far so good. Back to you, Viv.
Okay, thanks, Jim, for your report out of Long Beach, New York. Of course, we will continue to monitor the deteriorating weather picture over the Northeast. And you can continue to monitor it with us. Even if you're away from your television set, you can join the Weather Channel online. Our address on the World Wide Web is weather.com. Now let's check on the forecast and the weather picture for the West Coast with all the details. Let's go back to the studio and back to you, Rick.
Thanks a lot, Vivian. Well, rainy and snowy conditions continue for the Midwest, and that's right, California, you're getting hit by the latest in a series of storms. You know, this time it's Southern California that's bearing the brunt of this Pacific Ocean system, with reports of 1 to 2 inches of rain overnight in parts of San Luis Obispo, Ventura counties, and now San Diego County. You're seeing some heavy precipitation move through. And by the way, that probably includes the heaviest snowfall of the season for the San Diego County mountains. Just east and northeast of San Diego, above 4,000 to 5,000 feet, at least 1 foot of snow will fall during the first half of the day as you have heavy bursts of precipitation moving on, onshore just north of the U.S.-Mexican border right down in here. San Diego, at last report, by the way, heavy rain. And there may be, as a result, some urban flooding, some mudslides and rock slides, and all that sort of stuff due to the very soggy ground in Southern California and the additional precipitation. Rain is reaching the desert region too, and get set Arizona, because this system is going to move your way later on. Heavy snow on the rim, heavy snow in the mountains outside Tucson, and substantial rain for you folks in Phoenix, Gila Bend, and Tucson. It's on the way later on during the afternoon on this Tuesday. Here in the Pacific Northwest, light precipitation by comparison. Little sprinkle of rain off and on in Portland, also Seattle and Olympia. Temperatures in the west, it's 10 at Cut Bank, that's the cold spot, 31 at Salt Lake City, 46 in Phoenix. With the heavy rain, it's 50 in San Diego, while the city by the bay is 45 degrees. All right, east of the Rockies, massive low pressure, and the weakening low that originally affected New Orleans. If you were with us a couple evenings ago, this low center came up just west of New Orleans, Louisiana, and has moved west-northwest while it has weakened. And with it, there's a large area of broken up, scattered light precipitation, a rain-snow mix. And we've even noted rain near the Canadian border and at Winnipeg, Manitoba, up in southern Canada.